Hi, I'm David Copeland, 2016 graduate from Peninsula College, and just finishing up my honors coursework.
Describe what originally interested you about doing a capstone project as a part of the honors program.
Well, I was really interested in working on something that was very individual and specific to what I wanted to do long term. And in addition to that, I was really interested in working with other motivated students on their interests and coursework.
Describe what process you went through as your project developed. How did the project change as you went along, and why?
Well, I was really interested in doing something that I thought might benefit the community in a very specific way to Port Angeles and Sequim. And in that way, I connected with a mentor, Kevin Vandeweghe, who suggested that I work on mental health crisis. And over time, it went from how we could get more resources in Clallam County to how we could more efficiently use resources in Clallam County.
What were some of the biggest challenges you encountered during the project? How did you deal with those challenges?
Some of the biggest challenges that I had to overcome was primarily due to time management and all the other courses that I had to take. I was also taking the accounting series courses at Peninsula College during my time in the honors program, completing the Capstone project, and that class really took a lot of my time. And so I was able to overcome that by really setting aside time each week to work on my Capstone project, and really remembering that even though there's less credits to the class, it's still a 5-credit course load.
What were your most important goals for the project, and how well did you achieve them?
I think my most important goals is that I wanted to accomplish something that may actually make a difference in our community. And it was really community driven in that my project changed over time due to what I found the community actually needed versus what I thought it needed when I started the project. And so I think in presenting my project to Representative Steve Theringer and offering up some solutions to the problems we have in our community, as well as presenting the project to the community, I think I was able to impact the community in a positive way, however small, and I think that can have ripple effects over time as there's a greater advocacy for mental health.
What were the most important things that you learned by doing the project?
Some of the most important things that I learned was time management. It definitely felt like I was juggling chainsaws sometimes. But once I was able to kind of wrangle that in, I found that it was important to focus my research on, or to not be so focused on my research. Initially, I was looking primarily at scholarly sources, and I wasn't giving enough credit to interviews or anecdotes or other things like that.
What are some of the things you would do differently if you do the project again?
I think if I were to do the project again, I would try to connect with a faculty mentor instead of a community member, because they're already on campus and oriented toward students, and they're more well informed about the goals of the project. Whereas working with Kevin Vandeweghe was a huge benefit. He's a very knowledgeable individual, but he also had his own stuff going on with the legislature and his work. And I also had to spend time explaining what the project was and what I needed from him versus being able to work more fluidly with somebody who is already on campus.
What are some of the areas or ideas that came up during the project that you would like to explore further in the future?
Well, what initially drew me to studying mental health in Clallam County was looking into interorganizational effectiveness, and I was able to learn a lot about how different organizations can have different goals and objectives with how they treat patients. And so I think I'd really like to explore that further and explore how to create more cooperation between organizations and what that might look like going into the future.
How do you think your project contributes to the body of knowledge in one or more academic disciplines?
Well, I think my project contributes some to politics and interorganizational effectiveness, in that everybody has different objectives and it can be important to define values in achieving those objectives between two groups. And I think that my project also contributes some to mental health and mental health advocacy. There's a lot of research that goes into mental illness and dealing with or helping patients cope with mental illness, but there's not a lot of research that goes into how that care can be delivered more efficiently.
Reflect a bit on your overall experience of the honors program. What are the most important things that you got out of the experience? And how do you think the program will contribute to your future learning, both formal and informal?
The honors project has been a huge benefit for me personally. I've had great opportunities to work with really motivated students and to meet and work with individuals who are already working in their various fields, from individuals in the state legislature to people working at Peninsula Behavioral Health, and my own coworkers as I work as an EMT. My project has helped me be a better care provider and advocate for better patient care within the organizations that I'm already a part of. As for my formal education, the honors project has really helped me to learn about doing sort of an overarching project that's more than just within a single school quarter, and the different pieces that go into something larger like that. And I think that will greatly benefit me as I move forward in my academic career.